LinkedIn is going to be such an important part of your next position, finding your next position. LinkedIn is all about business, and it is an essential business network. One of the things that people look for in someone that they'd like to hire people they know, like, and trust. It's absolutely possible that you can sow the seeds of know, like, and trust right into your profile from the very beginning. And the other thing that is so important is that we stand out from the crowd. We need to be memorable. So these are the things that I'm going to focus on for you today, because I know that in order to be memorable, we have to really put our heart into it. The most memorable profiles start right from your heart center. Some people would refer to that as your brand. And so this is the way that I talk about brand. It's maybe not the most sophisticated way, but it gets where you need to go for LinkedIn. Your brand is built around these 3 questions. And I would like to suggest that you take a note on these 3 questions, because these really are important questions. I find when I've got the answers to these questions, I can write. So the first is, what are the 3 things you want to be known for? It's important that they not be 4 or 5 or 6 things, because the deal is 6 is not twice as good as 3. It's not even half as good as 3, because 3 is a number that we are hardwired to remember. So what are the 3 things you want to be known for? What are your differentiators? What things make you different in the world of work? And then last is, what are your key words? So when we take all of these questions together, it becomes like a blueprint. Now, I'm going to give you the gift of time. This is that sprint that Margaret talked about, the brain sprint. We have 2 minutes. I want you to write down, what are the 3 things you want to be known for? So go ahead and take your pen and paper, and let's get started. Laura, how are we doing on our time?
About 20 seconds. Okay, I'd wrap it up. You have about 2 seconds and you can take it over, Carol.
All right. So when we know the answers to those 3 questions, we can use it as a blueprint for every section of our LinkedIn profile. And when we are very deliberate about how we create our LinkedIn profile, it creates the ability to be remembered, to be memorable. So we want to use these questions, the answers to these questions, in your headline, in your about section, in your experience section, and in your skills section. And I'm going to show you a little bit about what that might look like. So this is my client, Kirk, who at Medtronic realized that he was not going to be the chief financial officer that he wanted to be. He was vice president of finance, but he actually took a severance and decided to concentrate on finding a new position. And now he is a CFO. But during his transition, we knew that he couldn't keep this as his headline. So we created a functional title for him. And his functional title was not VP because he really didn't want to be VP. So we got senior financial executive and we put CFO in there. It was an aspirational title. And then we have now 220 characters to use to fill out the whole headline. At the time that I was working with Kirk, we didn't have that many characters, but here we go. This is how he brings value. So his differentiator is that he brings positive system-wide impact through people development, collaboration, and strategic innovation. So those are the 3 things that he wants to be known for. And the fact that his work always cuts across the entire enterprise is a remarkable thing. That's his differentiator. Now, Margaret said, this looks wrong. He's a CFO. This sounds like a COO position. Why doesn't it say P&L and all those financial speak words? We wanted to address what was different about Kirk. And we wanted to indicate how perfect he was for the C-suite. Here's my client, Dan. I think he's here today. This was his headline before. And here is his functional job title. So we have a 3-part functional job title, and it includes general manager, which is a position that he's had in the past, and director of VP Global Supply Chain, sales and operation planning. So it's 3 parts. And then how does he bring value to his company? He does it by creating outstanding results through people development, process improvement, and integration across international facilities. So think about this. This is a keyword-rich headline. This gives him some different parameters in which he's already been very experienced. And I think that this will serve him well. This is my client, Greg, who's a chief financial officer of the largest credit union in Hawaii. And his challenge is that he is a candidate for chief executive officer for this credit union. And so he chose as his functional job title, strategic CFO. He wanted to say he's not just all about the numbers. And he brings value for both members and staff through performance excellence in systems and practice. So I hope you can see how the 3 things you want to be known for can inform how we create a powerful headline. And the headline is so important because it's one of the first things people see about you when they look at your profile. So moving on, this is an about section. And again, I've used Dan as my exemplar. We are showing, we have 2,600 characters to use, and we want to use them well. We write in the first person because that is the language of interaction, and we want to create an actual connection between an emotional connection between the person reading your profile and you. And then we have given him some internal headlines, which are taken from his functional job title and talked about his experience in those areas. And the last thing that we've done is include his contact information. Really, really important. Okay, this is what a part of the experience section would look like. For each of your job positions, we have 2,000 characters to use. And we want to use the first part of those characters to talk about what is the context in which you are working. And then beyond that, we want bullet points. And the bullet points should be able to address metrics. If you've got metrics, make sure you've got them in there. Numbers always are important. And it's exciting to see that I think this is Kirk, had lots of numbers that we can put in. Okay, I think these are Dan's again. This is in the skills. You want to make sure that your skills are aligned with the things that you want to be known for. So I'm going to give you just a minute to look at your profile and to see whether your top 3 skills align with the things that you wrote down before. And if they don't, later you should take an opportunity to make some adjustments. The skills have changed significantly. It used to be that the first skills that showed up at the top were the most endorsed. And that's an important concept, but it's not applicable now. Now you can actually pin the first 3 skills, the skills that are most important to you. And many times when I work with someone, the skills that are most important to them are not skills that were ever on their profile before. And so when we put them in the top 3, eventually somebody will endorse those skills and make you whole. Okay, we're going to move on. So in addition to great text, in addition to talking about yourself in the first person and sharing all of your accomplishments, we need to provide some eye candy here. Things that really will delight and that will help make you memorable. So this is my client, Tony, and this is not his most memorable shot. But he is the owner of a sportswear company that manufactures the highest quality professional team uniforms like these worn by the USA hockey team. This is a worthy headline picture. Now, most of us don't have something that is so on point, but you can find evocative pictures that help you communicate your brand. Here's what we did for Dan. Dan had this picture already because he bridges processes and people. And this was just the perfect picture. I was so glad that when I asked him for an image, he was just Johnny on the spot with the right one. This is my client, Greg, who is never, ever going to leave Hawaii. And this says it all. So the next section is called the featured section, the next visual section. And we can populate our featured section with all kinds of visual things. So these 2 things that are in Tony's visual section are actual posts that he made on LinkedIn. And if you clicked on it from his featured section, you could actually see everybody's comments, and it's really kind of fun. You can kind of get a sense of Tony's followings that way. So the next one we're going to share is mine, and I probably got 15 things pinned to this. The featured section is best for things that are visual. So pictures, videos, logos, those kinds of things work in this section. One of the things that absolutely does not work in this section is pinning your resume, which I don't recommend anyway. But a resume looks so bad in this space because it's just a typewritten document. Basically, it's not got a lot of graphic pizzazz. And this section is for graphic pizzazz. You would do better to have nothing in your section than to put the black hole of a resume on this section. Okay, the last little piece of candy that I'm going to share with you is this speaker icon. Now, many of you have really easy to say names. My name is not easy to say, but if you were to click on this speaker icon on my profile, you would hear me say, Carol Kaemmerer, Carol Kaemmerer. And if you are someone who has a difficult to say name, the way that you would get this speaker icon to show up on your profile is through your phone app for LinkedIn. That's the only way that you can record it. But when you have recorded it, then it appears for everyone who sees your profile. They can listen to you on any device. LinkedIn, as you can tell, has many, many parts, and we need some resources that we can count on. And that's why I wrote my book, LinkedIn for the Savvy Executive, Promote Your Brand with Authenticity, Tact, and Power. I wrote it for people just like you. So I invite you to connect with me. Follow my company page, which is carolkaemmerer.com. And I hope that you will learn from my books and articles and online posts. And my ask is that if you find something that is helpful to you, respond. Not just with a like, but also with a comment, because that's the way that my content goes further. And this is my contact information. I do executive branding and profile development and corporate speaking and training. This is how you reach me. Thanks so much.